So it was a New Year resolution, 1st Jan 2012 or 31st December 2011, however you look at it. I decided इस time मेरे को कुछ करना है. So I signed up for a comedy open mic night. And I remember first time I went on stage, my hands were shivering, my throat became dry, my legs were, there was no floor underneath. But still I did and I did that, and that was very, very, enriching experience. Right from beginning, like bachpan se, I was a big fan of comedy. Like since you're in Chandigarh, not because you're in Chandigarh, but I was a huge fan of Jaspal Patti.
What changes have you seen in the comedy world when it comes to the content, the audience, and more women coming up on stage?
4-5 years back, there was this big issue which happened on internet. Why are there no women in comedy? The comedy line in India, I would say, started in 2011, 2012. More and more comedians, female comedians, as you say, are coming up and voicing, and that was required.
Hello everyone, this is Jaskiran from Indian Express, and today we have with us Atul Khatri,
Thank you, Jessica.
the Sindhi of satire, sharp as a whip, and witty, Mr. Atul Khatri. And if for your information, I'll quickly say that he was CEO who CEO's Got Talent in the stand-up comedy. In this was year
2014.
2014. His company IT business for 25 years. He switched his career to stand-up comedy. Of course, there was a moment when you thought, let's be a vendor or a DJ. So tell us about that.
That was before. So this was before I got into comedy. So somewhere in 2012, I was figuring out what to do because I was getting burnt out in my IT job, and my wife also could see the anxiety on my face. So she think you should have something more to your life than just this. So I thought I'll become a DJ because I still love music. This I'm talking about 2012. So I went to. I came to know there's a DJ somewhere in Mumbai who teaches how to doing DJing giri. I went to his house. He called me at 11 o'clock on a Saturday. I reached, as being a corporate guy, I landed at 10:45. Outside his house, rang his bell. दरवाज़ा नहीं रहा था, and he was not opening his door, and I banged on his door, calling him up on his phone, उठा ही नहीं रहा था. I waited outside his house till 11:30, 12. He didn't open, and I just left. When I was coming back, he called me up. Oh, so sorry, sir. I was sleeping. I kept my phone on silent. I had a gig last night. Come back, come back. I said, no, dude, you're very unprofessional. I hate to deal with unprofessional people.
Okay.
So my DJing career
Ended there only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I wanted to become a bartender one day, so I signed up for this bartending course, which was on a Sunday, and I signed up. It was at 3 o'clock in a bar somewhere in Mumbai. I remember it was in the summer time, May in Mumbai, and what happened was that I overslept. I'm a Sindhi, so on Sindhis we take our Sunday lunch very, very seriously. So I overate and I went to sleep, and I didn't go for my bartending
class.
So my
Okay.
bartending and DJing both happened because of sleep. I lost both those opportunities, and then it was I thought I'll do stand-up comedy. So there was a time when stand-up comedy was just coming up in India. I went and watched some 2-3 open mics.
Okay.
That's where you can, and I liked
Yeah.
it, where people can it's so amazing to see people going on stage and making people laugh. So I said I must give it a shot at it. So it was a New Year resolution, 1st Jan 2012 or 31st December 2011, however you look at it. I decided इस time मेरे को कुछ करना है. So I signed up for a comedy open mic night. It was after a month. It was on 3rd Feb 2012. I didn't tell my children about it. My wife and I told them that my daughter was 17 and 15. We told them dinner पे जा रहे हैं. And I did my first open mic, and I just loved it. And this is the experience of going on stage, making people laugh. I was never a stage guy back in school, and also had to kill a lot of demons to go. And I remember first time I went on stage, my hands were shivering, my throat became dry, my legs were, there was no floor underneath. But still I did and I did that, and that was very, very, enriching experience. I said,
All
"My
right.
God, I have to do this again." So then the first time I met the other comedians there, and they say, hey, you are very funny, and you have an original voice, don't give it up. Because काफी लोग क्या करते हैं ना, they do the first open mic and then that's it. It's like
Okay.
a bucket list and never go back.
Okay.
Because going on stage, making people laugh is extremely
It's
difficult.
extremely tough. What made you when you saw those first 2-3 open mics? What made you decide that yes, if they can do it, I can also give it a shot?
So I was a funny guy, and right from beginning, like bachpan se, I was a big fan of comedy. Like since you're in Chandigarh, not because you're in Chandigarh, but I was a huge fan of Jaspal Patti.
Okay.
Can you imagine Jaspal Patti back in that day? He used to make political satire on
He was brilliant.
on Doordarshan, which was a channel owned by the state.
Yes.
So going on a state channel,
Ulta
making
pulta.
fun of the
Yeah,
government
yes.
on state is unheard of.
Yes, yes. In today's time, you can't do that.
As a child, I used to wait for his ulta pulta. It was used to call ulta pulta.
Yes.
To wait like TV पे आता था, during dinner time, we used to sit and watch that. And Indian Laughter Comedy Challenge came. So I knew I was a big fan of comedy, not stand-up comedy तो पता नहीं था, but big fan of Raju Srivastav, Johnny Lever, all these people.
Yes.
Making people laugh is
Rauf Lala.
Yeah.
Even though from the other
From
side,
Pakistan,
Pakistan, they're brilliant. All of they have a very subtle sense of
very
humor.
different. So all that, and so I said, let me give it a try. Kya hua? I was 44 that time, and I really enjoyed it. And that's what kya bolte hain, lat lag gayi.
Yeah,
It's like a drug. So I wanted to do more open
more
mics.
open mics.
And then from the age of 44 to 48, I used to work also. Fortunately, stand-up comedy is an evening thing. So you can do in the evening and you can have a work in the morning. But you have to do a lot of time management, obviously.
Yes, true.
So I did all that, and then at the age of 48 in 2016, I got full-time out of my job, got full-time into comedy.
All
I
right.
joined,
So it
yeah.
pays you well. That's why you left
It
full
pays
time.
me- It pays me well, but it is honestly it's a freelancer job. Like today I have a show in Chandigarh, I have money. Next 3 days, next 4 days I don't have a show. So I don't have money. So that's one aspect of corporate में क्या ना काम करो या नहीं करो पैसा मिलता
Paisa milta. I wanted to know that you've written on your Insta first and final show. Why is that?
है. Of Daddy Cool.
Of Daddy Cool. Okay.
Daddy Cool is my new
So here's
show.
a disclaimer.
Yeah, Daddy Cool is my new show which I got actually. Unfortunately, I introduced the show on Feb 2020, and then March 2020 the pandemic happened, and obviously because of that I couldn't perform anywhere, and then so now I'm sort of taking it. So it's my actually first and last show in Chandigarh of Daddy Cool.
Of Daddy. So do you have a theme for every show or every city?
So what happens is that nowadays your fans want you to come up with new material. So typically what happens is most comedians around the world, you write a new show, which is around 60 minutes, 80 minutes show. You workshop and you come up with a show, you give it a name. It's like a name of a movie.
Yes.
So if you've seen Dangal, Amir Khan ki next time you won't go to see unless you've seen it all.
Yes. Yes.
So it's so like that. So this show is called Daddy Cool, and it's about a different thing. I'm sure you're coming for the show.
I am coming for the show.
I don't
Yes.
want to, sort of reveal secrets and things like that. But it's just again story about my life, some anecdotes here and there. It's
All right.
observational comedy, and so maybe after a year or so, I'll again come back to Chandigarh, maybe with a new show.
All right. So your comedy is observational. It's personal. It's political. It's a lot of satire. It's and you've traveled a lot, and your wife has a lot to do with it. She's, I think, your sole inspirational point, and I think your daughter.
It comes from within,
Yes, and
My
your
daughter's-
younger daughter is your sounding board. So tell us more about it. Where do you get? Because when we write our stories, people ask us this very bland question: "आपको कहाँ से stories मिलती हैं?" So I want to ask Atul Khatri, where does he get inspired from, and where does he get his stories? And are you very serious when you're writing down your content about the next show?
Yeah. So comedy is a very, very serious business. Sounds very cool, sounds very fun, but it's very difficult to go and make people laugh. Very easy to make people cry, very difficult to make people laugh. So when we write comedy, there's a lot of thought process goes on. So first of all, for example, we have to see that the jokes are already not there on internet, because आजकल क्या हो गया है, like
Yes.
any new topic comes up, like for example, this new Adani thing happened.
Yeah.
Within the evening, there are 2,000 jokes already floating on WhatsApp.
We are a country who loves jokes.
Yeah, free jokes.
Yes, free jokes.
So now if I have to go on stage, supposing and make jokes on the Adani episode which happened, my jokes have to rise above that. अरे लोग अरे ये तो WhatsApp पे सुन लिया, क्या फायदा कि पैसा दे क्या ये वही जोक सुनने का है. So your joke writing has become is getting more difficult because you are consuming a lot of more comedy and content thanks to this WhatsApp. It's actually it's our enemy. Because it's throwing content at you if you want it or
Yeah,
don't want it.
it's a nanosecond. You have a new thing coming up.
New thing coming up, new jokes coming up. There's a cat video coming, dog video coming.
हाँ.
Some comedian abroad का किसको video अच्छा लगा उसने सबको forward कर दिया. आप देख रहे हो
So
उसको.
taglines, तकिया कलाम सब.
You are consuming a lot of content right now. So when it's an effort for you to leave your house at 5 o'clock, come for my show at 6, to come and watch new content. Because you are seeing content मिल रहा है, Netflix है, सब OTT पे तो आप सब आपके phone.
Is it stressful for you to write, to come up with something that is more nuanced and a little edgy?
As a comedian, not really edgy, but as a comedian, you want always to write something better than your earlier set. To push the envelope, to push yourself, where you can take your writing capacity. So as far as every comedian has a different process for writing. We have first question or how do you write? So there are some people who sit like, I know comedians who every morning 6 to 9 write. They just open a book, switch off everything, like switch off their phone and they just sit write. They write, must be writing 5 pages. उसमें से अगर आधा page भी अच्छा निकला तो it's very good.
It's very good, true.
So I have a different process. I have a lot of thoughts which go in my head. Every evening whenever I'm in Mumbai, my home city, or wherever I am, I try to walk in the evening. And while I'm walking, I have to clock 10,000 steps, 12,000 steps, and while that I'm sort of creating thoughts or
And you write it down, or are you doing CD?
First
You-
of all, I put it in my head.
Hmm.
Then at one stage, you do write it down. Because
Yes.
when you write it down, more tags can come on the jokes.
And is it audience specific? Because I also read that, Kolkata is very subtle. They don't like too in your face humor. Bangalore is a perfect audience. Delhi and Mumbai are different. And alcohol levels of the crowd also matters a lot. So tell me, how do you bifurcate audience, and do you have a different kind of presentation when you go to a particular city or audience, even a country? You're going to go on a world tour now. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So typically, what happens in India, wherever we perform, or Indians anywhere abroad are the same.
Okay.
So I could be performing in like Los Angeles, and if there are people from India, they are like they have not left Delhi or Bombay or Chandigarh. They are from there only. So all those jokes just fly. So there's not too much of thing. So there are 2-3 things to it. First of all, you have to read your audience. So typically, like whenever I go for a show, like suppose if I do sometimes a college show, and college show obviously are young people, I can't go there and do marriage jokes
Hmm.
because they'll say, "Yaar, this doesn't relate to you." Similarly, if it's a married couple crowd and a young comedian goes and talks about dating, about Tinder and things like that, they don't get the reference.
Yeah, it's true.
So you have to read the audience. So typically what I do is before every show I go and see the audience. And every comedian more or less has an arsenal of maybe 2.5 hours of jokes. And on that day you do 1 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes. So you pick and choose. This may not fly over here, this may fly here. So you pick and choose your content and you sort of...
So Chandigarh, how have you read Chandigarh?
Chandigarh is a great crowd. It is an amazing crowd, and very, they enjoy the comedy when they come out. So like today we have, I think, around 150 people coming for the show.
All right, great.
Which is great. So they have paid money, they have bought their tickets, so they have full day. They're prepared for comedy.
Yes.
So yeah.
And I was listening that, you said English music bajana sirf. So why English? Because you're a Bollywood buff. And I've seen you in all Bollywood weddings. But how do you get access to them?
Thanks to Photoshop.
And it's on your Instagram. You're at every wedding congratulating everyone. It's really good.
So because my set is mainly in English.
Okay.
So what happens is if you play English music right up front, you are sort of getting your audience tuned that if you play Bollywood music or Punjabi music, that they're expecting the comedian to come and speak
Come
in
up with that
Punjabi
kind of content.
So right
Yeah.
beginning you're sort of telling them this is an English show.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
that's the reason.
Is there any comedians that you look up to? Like, when we started listening to comedy before Indians came really big on the scene, it was Russell Peters. So do you also listen to someone
My
and...
first comedian who I also watched was Russell Peter.
Okay,
It's that famous leaked video on YouTube.
okay.
That what you saw, it was leaked by somebody.
Okay.
Which got him actually world famous.
Yes,
that
he's
people don't know.
phenomenal that
He
way.
was
Yes.
in comedy for 10 years. Nobody
Yes.
knew who Russell Peter was. But that one, he actually credits it to that
One leak.
video
Yeah.
on YouTube, that 1 hour somebody put up. He became world famous after that.
Which is your video that you think really catapulted you to success or made you visible?
Oh, my video was that very famous, about the Justin Bieber concert
Okay,
in
yes,
2017 when
yes,
I came out. So there was a time I was earlier a part of this collective called East India Comedy.
yes, with Saurabh
I left
Pant.
East India Comedy with Saurabh and all these guys, and when I left, that was my first video which I put up on my own channel. And that became like super viral.
Super
A lot
viral.
of people who thought that was my first comedy video ever, not knowing that I was doing comedy from like 2012, 2013.
Yes, yes.
So
That really. And the one that comes to my mind and really has been splits is the Game of Thrones review. How did you come up with that? And after that, you had a whole explanation of House of Dragons कि किसकी रिश्तेदारी किसके साथ है.
I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones.
It was really good,
And
the review.
I sort of just, so the other time also I think it was during the time during the pandemic, right?
Yes.
घर पे बैठ के कुछ काम नहीं था, कुछ content निकालना था. So I did that review became famous. My second review, which was the Shahid Kapoor movie, where he's that doctor who's that very angry doctor.
Yeah. That
Very famous,
Arjun,
copy of that.
yeah, South Indian film, Vijay Deverakonda's film.
Yeah.
Yes.
That review also became very
Yes.
popular.
Ha.
People start doing reviews. So whenever I watch something, I do like this. Like recently, I watched this Yash Chopra ka jo that series has come
The
out.
Romantics.
Romantics. I want to do a review.
Please do that.
In Yashji's voice.
Okay.
You know how Yash used to
Yes,
speak?
we interviewed him many years back, and
He just mumbles.
yes, I really had to strain my ears. Did I get the interview right or not? So it was, and but he was also
Punjabi
brilliant.
uncle.
Yes, he was very welcoming and very warm at that time also. And when when all comedians sit, I know that Gaurav and Gaurav Kapoor and all these Basi, they have this gang. They hang out together. I know that. Do you also have a gang, or are comedians are they secure amongst themselves?
Yeah, so it's not really, there's no really gang. All these guys are obviously, because they're all Delhi based.
Yes.
We are the, yes, we all, Gaurav and all, they all stay in Delhi, so they obviously meet more often there. Basi, they all meet more often over there. When we also go there, I catch up with them. And in Bombay, like typically, I would hang around with my EIC boys because we know them, you know. It's not, there's no clan, there is no cartel, there is no
There's no
camp. You know, just Bollywood.
But
It's just
you're
that
secure.
just friends, you know them, you know, I know EIC boys since a long time.
Okay.
So we hang around, you can be a little open with them, say whatever you want. You
Okay.
know, without being politically correct.
And in all these years, have you seen what changes have you seen in the comedy world when it comes to the content, the audience, and more women coming up on stage, and being open about and being considered as serious comedians?
So, long time back, I remember 4-5 years back, there was this big issue which happened on internet. Why are there no women in comedy? Or why, is there a glass ceiling for it? There was no really glass ceiling. The comedy scene was just 5 years old. The comedy line in India, I would say, started in 2011, 2012. So it's maybe now we are celebrating the 10 years, 11 years of stand-up comedy scene in India. Our genre. It was a matter of time, and now you are seeing that, more and more comedians, female comedians, as you say, are coming up and voicing, and that was required. It's a matter of time. You see, after 15 years, after 10 years, there will be more women comedians.
More women comedians.
There will be comedians who are coming from the villages of India.
True.
And they're talking in their dialects. That's already happened.
Yes.
Today you have Tamil comedians, Punjabi comedians.
UP, that girl
Today
who
in
does
Chandigarh,
that.
There is a show, I believe, of a Punjabi comedian.
Yes.
Singing in Punjabi.
Yes.
And before that, there is a women comedian. I forget her name. She's also performing.
Okay.
Don't know her name. She's also today having a show in Chandigarh. Today there are 3 shows happening in Chandigarh.
Okay.
My show, her show, and I forget the gentleman name, Manjeet Singh or some. He's a comedian. He does in Punjabi.
Okay.
1 hour of comedy in pure Thet Punjabi. He's going to do comedy. So that has opened up.
So that
the
has.
market. Yeah.
But has the content also changed? Has the audience perception changed? And because we are in a country where I think we are getting too sensitive, or is our sense of humor getting how? But do you have to be careful about what you are talking about also, considering the current times?
See, first of all, this censorship bolo, sensitive, it's everywhere in the world.
Okay.
You perform in Dubai, there are rules in Dubai you can talk about. You can't talk about Islam in Dubai, you can't talk about the rulers, you can't talk anything negative about Dubai. It's been told to us, Even in India, you have something, you can't make fun of the flag, you can't make fun of the national symbols. There are some few, it's in the constitution.
Do's and don'ts that is there.
Which are there.
Yeah.
After that, then it's depending in which state you're performing in India, that they can.
No, but when we hear that so and so was under attack, or so and so shows was cancelled, so you do feel bad about it. That come on, have a sense of humor.
Exactly. I mean, one earlier video of that comedian when he was maybe young, you have taken that, put out of context, used, maybe you have used Photoshop or something to change the words here and there, suited upon to your own thing.
So again, WhatsApp and internet is an enemy at some levels.
It's misuse of it is an enemy.
Misuse of it is an enemy. How much has technology helped you? Because you are an IT guy in your comedy business or career.
A lot of us are successful, known figures thanks to YouTube, thanks to Facebook, thanks to Instagram. These social media platforms has been a big catalyst in our industry. So I think they have done a great job.
They've done a great job. And age, is it to your advantage? Because does it help you become a better comedian than the rest?
I wouldn't say so better, but maybe because I have a longer timeline, maybe we can talk about more topics, number one. Number two, when you go up on stage, even though I may not be as experienced as some of the younger comedians, but at least they are Buddha aadmi hai, he must be having some wisdom in him. Maybe I don't have any wisdom, but still, look to aata hai.
And your wife and daughters, how are they taking to your career? Do your daughters want to follow in your footsteps?
My one daughter is a sports nutritionist, and the other daughter is a clinical psychologist.
Oh wow.
So,
is she psychoanalyzing you?
No, so it's a very funny incident. Once I was doing one of these online shows in Zoom during the pandemic, and I was using her desk. मेरा डेस्क बहुत बेकार था, मेरे को डेस्क ही नहीं था एक्चुअली. I bought a desk later on. I was using her desk to do my live shows, and उसके पीछे उसके सब psychology की books होते थे.
हाँ.
And once after a show, like fans messaged me, sir, I didn't know to do comedy, you have to read books on psychology. So I didn't want to spoil it. I said, हाँ यार, बहुत psychology की books पढ़ने पड़ते. Actually, it was her bookshelf.
Oh, any interesting questions you remember from your fans?
Oh, so many questions. You get so many, funny questions you get. First of all, I don't know. First of all, a lot of younger comedians feel that it's very difficult job, comedy. get into it. Only if you're in the long haul. Don't think it's like, don't think you'll get laid here or you'll get a lot of action here. कुछ नहीं होता है. It's a very very hard job. Making people laugh is very very difficult, and now it's becoming more difficult.
Yes, it is. And the shows that are coming up in Canada, Australia, Europe. So you have your sets ready. Are you looking forward to it? Same Daddy Cool set. And 1x2, why did you change the Instagram page to like 1x2? Was there a specific reason to have it?
1x2?
Yeah, you call it.
Has been my handle
Since a long time. Why 1x2?
In fact, I used to do this set on set. It was about this 1x2 soup.
Yes, we always have that 1x2.
In India, which
Yes.
is such an Indian concept.
Yes.
I love that word 1x2. How
Okay.
you can, where you basically pay for one, but you get 1.2, 1.25.
Yes.
Whatever you order. So I think that's so unique. So I loved it. It was very Indian to me. So that's why I picked up this name.
That's nice. And does India as a country have a great, grand sense of humor?
Yeah, I think we have a good sense of humor. It's only that we are sometimes trying to restrain ourselves. I think you put a person in the right atmosphere, they will laugh.
They will laugh.
Yeah, I think we have a good sense of humor. Just be easy. It's all comedy. We are not make here to offend anybody. No comedian wakes up क्या जिसको offend करना है इसको offend करना. We come to just make people laugh. उसमें don't try to find offense unnecessarily. That's my only advice.
And any particular show you saw of someone or any joke that has always stuck with you and it always brings a smile on your face?
There's so many. There's not one. Like I remember Johnny Lever when I was a kid. I used to listen to his cassettes. He had this set about these Bollywood actors का काम से कहीं कुछ strike हो जाती है, so they all go and play cricket. And is that entire he enacts how these Bollywood people are playing cricket, and it was so nice. I still remember some of those things. I remember the joke where Amitabh Bachchan goes to buy vegetables, and he tells that bhaji wali that ये अंगूर कितने की थी? नहीं सर नीचे है, ये अंगूर नहीं तरबूज है. This was a silly joke. It's so fun.
So he could pull that off. You've been in Bombay. You're a Bombay person. So you've been in the IT field, but living in Bombay and surrounded by the entire industry, the glamour, everything. Now you are in the middle of that. You are a part of the whole thing. Did you ever think that you will reach this stage and you'll also be, because you are in love with films? It's clear about that, music and films.
It's all about Bollywood.
Yes. So how does it feel at this moment to be right there and be part of their celebration, their platform?
Every day I thank God for it. Number one. Number two is I think I'm old, so I'm slightly more grounded. I know this there today, it can go off tomorrow. This line is such. You've seen the best of actors. I remember once going for a Bollywood wedding. I genuinely went. There was no Photoshop. And there was a time where Hrithik Roshan उसकी picture लगी थी. कौन सी उसकी first picture थी? नहीं not कोई मिल गया उसके पहले जो वही the dance was there.
Ding ding ding. Yes.
Sorry.
I also forgot about it.
So there was a wedding where Rajesh Khanna was alive. He was sitting at the wedding, and nobody was talking to him. And then Hrithik Roshan came. And the entire crowd just rushed towards Hrithik, and I could actually from the corner see Rakesh Roshan, Kaka looking at Hrithik, looking at him like, okay, dude,
I've been the superstar.
I've been there, done that, But that was real life. I could see in my eyes. वो बताते हैं ना that yesterday actor कोई बात नहीं कर रहा उससे, अकेले बैठ के drink पी रहे थे, and the entire media, the crowd, the public, the youngsters were just flocking Hrithik over there, So. That's part of life. Maybe one day Hrithik will go through the same thing when somebody new comes.
So you are on the comedy circuit, and how long do you see yourself continuing on it?
Till I die. I don't know till I retire.
You are part of it now. This is your alternate career. Your parents are happy with it?
My parents are happy. They like it.
The Sindhi community. Because the best jokes we can crack is on our community, on our own.
And our Sindhi community is the most coolest community. They say make jokes as long as you make money out of it.
That's what Gaurav Gupta also. I think Bhadiyas are like, let's make money out of it. On that note, we'll say bye to Atul Khatri. We have so much to talk, but maybe next time. All right, thank you. We had a great time. Thank you. Bye.